This Dead Files special investigation.
Amy and I are investigating.
There's a lot of screaming. Secrets were buried.
You can hear like an echo in the ground.
The land is tainted. There's something right over my shoulder. He was a tyrant. He liked to hang people. Definitely there were people who died on this land.
He was shot.
I just see blood.
He made a mistake and he paid the ultimate price.
That they're gonna get. Bad things happened. There's something down there. My name is Amy Allen. A lot of dead people are here. I see dead people. This is not good. I speak to dead people. He is very pissed off. And they speak to me. The house is angry. But there's only one way to know if my findings are real. He's killed people. I rely on my partner.
I'm Steve DeChavez. I'm a retired New York City homicide detective.
He got shot at his house?
And I know every person, every house has secrets. Aren't you terrified being here? It's my job to reveal them. That sounds like something out of The Exorcist.
But Steve and I never speak.
We never communicate during an investigation.
Until the very end. It's bad.
When we uncover if it's safe for you to stay, I like some answers.
Or time to get out.
I love his, like, thing I was laughing about the other day. The way he was describing the dead spirits. But it wouldn't be funny if I just tried to reiterate it.
Amy and I conduct our investigations separately. We'll never know each other's findings till the very end. It's my job to find out the history of each location, interview the witnesses, and see if there's any correlation to Amy's experiences. We're down in Cartersville, Georgia. I got contacted by a woman named Cynthia, who just this year moved into a dream house with her husband and her 3 boys. The problem is they're starting to see apparitions, they're hearing things, and there's stuff going missing in the house. The whole family's terrified. So I'm going over there to meet her now and see what I can find out about it.
Before I get to a location, I enter a meditative state. I call this opening because it allows me to open up and receive information from the dead. There's this big guy, like he might be 6 foot, but like he might be taller. He's a big guy. And he's standing by 2 graves. And then I could hear like screaming. Damn it.
Before Amy enters a location, I go in and either cover or remove anything that can influence her findings. This house is filled with a lot of personal items, so it's important that I take my time to remove everything. Once I clear the house, Amy can begin her walk.
They're upset.
Who are they?
The dead people. This is not good.
Now, Cynthia, you said you were in the house about 5 months. Okay, what happened that made you think there was something wrong here?
Loud stomps in our bedroom, women weeping, apparitions, things that set the whole house a little on edge.
Now, you gotta be frightened for your kids, I would think.
Definitely. We just want to make sure that everybody's okay here.
When was the first time that something unusual happened to you in the house?
Right off the bat, when I started sleeping here, I realized that I was hearing a child cry. It was just a very deep sob. It was loud enough to me that it would wake me.
You can see his foot.
They're young people. They're children. Seeing all these children, they're running and hiding, because they're afraid of something happening to them. They're running and hiding because they're afraid that they're gonna get hurt.
But you don't know by what.
No.
You explained on the phone about things missing in the house.
Things that go missing are very frequently in the upstairs bedroom. My husband's things, he'll place them on his side of the bed, and they'll magically be on my side of the bed in the morning.
There's a person who's stealing things. He's still here.
My youngest son played hide and go seek with a couple of little children outside that we never could find. And the neighbors informed us that there are no children that live in this area.
There's like running, children running, and children are running. They were kind of like devious. They would just play pranks and stuff, like, I think to get attention. For some reason, it makes them feel like they're alive. I want to ask them why they're here, but they won't answer me. I don't know who's taking stuff, because I don't really see the kids taking anything. I wanted to blame them, but I don't know who's taking these things.
So what do you know about the house?
The main legend with this house is that in the 20s, there was a sheriff that lived here, and he liked to hang people. And
Wait, come again with that?
he was hanging black men outside the window in the kitchen.
Okay, so there's this man. He's thin. This is not the big guy. He says, "Oh, so you're here to talk to me, are you?" Maybe he was the owner at some point. Bad things
His,
happened.
His robe thing has I mean, it's supposed to, I think,
all right?
just look like gathers,
This room just
but
kind of.
it actually looks like I Ching
You see that?
lines.
Well, the whole demeanor just changed.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath, relax, I'm here. I'll go in, all right? I'll go into the room.
Okay.
So
Maybe
this
something that
is
he's
the room you
holding.
consider evil, or?
Yeah. This was my art studio.
Motif.
I managed to work in here maybe 2 weeks, and I was working on something. Then all of a sudden, my heart started racing and my face flushed, and I was sweating and I couldn't breathe, and I had to get out. There's something right over my shoulder just saying, "Get out of here, you're in my way, you're in my space, this is mine, and you need to go somewhere else."
There's also a female that's involved. her head was messed up, so maybe she had depression. She would go outside in the garden and cry all the time, crying.
You had mentioned something about the top of the staircase.
Almost everyone has encountered just feeling like there was someone there with you on the staircase and your hair on your arms will stand up. That's a woman presence, like a sad feeling.
She wanted to get out of the situation that she was in. Okay, I'm hearing. I'm hearing.
What are you hearing? Well, what are you hearing?
Murder. So here's the thing about this place. There's a lot of energy here, but it's not being revealed. And that's really frustrating me. Sometimes when an entity knows I'm in the vicinity, it'll try to obstruct my senses. And that's what I'm experiencing right now. Someone or something does not want me to know what has really happened here. There's a lot of interference going on, and I'm not exactly sure where it's coming from. But I feel like it's another dead person.
The large figure appears here pretty regularly.
Does it wake you up, or you awake first and then?
No, it wakes me. When I'm asleep, he'll be beside the bed, and if I have any skin exposed, I'll have an icy cold touch, or, he'll pet me. And I don't understand that.
How do you sleep at night?
I don't.
There's like someone, I think it's a male, and it's a dark figure. And this is the entity. He doesn't want anybody to know about him, so he hides. Has the accident being seen?
They don't want to be seen.
No. Big, 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 big mistake, but it's happened. And this is not good.
So Ben, I was talking to your wife, Cynthia, and she explained some pretty bizarre things going on in the house. What about you? You have any issues?
When we first moved in, I fell asleep on the sofa watching the movie, and when I woke up in the middle of the night, there was this large 6'5" guy that was just standing over me.
Did you think it was an intruder?
At first I did, because all I could see was this, like a shadow figure. And when I seen it, it gave me the chills, it creeped me out, and I ran upstairs.
She's having some weird things happen to her. She's getting touched.
Yeah, that's what's got me worried the most, is if she's getting touched, I don't want the kids to experience and stuff. I had a dream that I actually sat down at the kitchen table and had a cup of coffee with the guy. And in that dream, he had told me that the house that is sitting here right now wasn't the house original.
That's a little odd. How about the rest of the house there? Any strange things?
My worst part's the outside.
Really?
I used to do landscaping and work in a lot of cemeteries. It almost gives me that same eerie feeling of walking through a grave site or something. I kind of know what the ground is supposed to feel like.
Okay.
And it just feels hollow.
I don't understand that.
You can actually almost hear like an echo in the ground when you're walking.
They're upset because their secrets were buried. There was a lot of stuff covered up under their land. buried under the ground here. There's a lot of screaming.
So you don't know why, or
Well, they're getting murdered.
I'm meeting with Cynthia's former tenant, Julian. She tells me he got scared and left the house after just a couple of months. Julian, can you explain to me what happened to you when you were here?
It was one night. It was like my first real time being at the house by myself for basically the whole day. All of a sudden, I heard a really loud thud. It made me think at first somebody was in the building, you know, somebody had went through the window or something. So I grabbed the gun and I started looking around and I never found anything.
So you never found where exactly the sound came from?
No, I sure didn't.
And when you were searching, did you actually hear it again, or was it just the one time?
It was just that one time.
I mean, you're frightened about the house?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I felt kind of frightened.
Did you leave after that?
No, I sure did, because I felt like there was somebody watching me on the back of my head that didn't want me there, so I left.
Well, Cynthia's got 3 little boys. You think it's safe for them to stay here?
No, because, you know, there is something here.
What do you think it is?
It's hard to say what it is. It's definitely something. I looked around, everything in my best of knowledge to try to come up with a logical explanation, and there wasn't any.
how do the dead interact with the living here?
Noises. The noises are definitely the kids. Know that. The kids are making the noise. With the floors and the stairs and the this and the this. I know it's the kids. I think they're the ones who make stuff move. They know how to do that.
So what sort of things do they do?
Knock something over.
I went to the courthouse to do a little research, and I found that a chief of police did in fact live in Cynthia's house in the 1920s. According to his death certificate, he was fatally shot.
It was like taking place outside. I felt like someone had a brown glass bottle and drinking this stuff. There's a lot of people scattering, running, screaming. I just see like the wounds, like all this blood.
Let's take a look at it.
She felt like she was enslaved by him, and she didn't like to be intimate with him. It was disgusting and repulsive for her. She didn't like to be intimate.
I've actually had a dream, and a rather large man sat down at the table with me and was talking to me and telling me that everything's okay and that he's here.
It will leave.
None of my research uncovered a caretaker. But if he's protecting Cynthia and Ben, it really doesn't matter. Now you have
To deal with.
honors and tell us, who do we think this is?
This is the caretaker that I saw.
Can't forget those eyes. It's the guy that I had coffee with.
And what do you think about this whole thing?
Just can't believe it. Everything that she's heard, everything that she's seen, you know, is coming to light.
And you're not crazy. Now that Amy and I have finished our investigations, this is the first time we'll be hearing each other's findings. Amy, this is their dream house. They got it about 5.5 months ago. They actually leased with an option to buy, but they've had some issues in the house.
Yeah.
They've got 3 young boys, and I think the most important question is, are the kids safe?
Definitely.
And should they spend the money to buy the place?
It's going to be difficult for Cynthia and Ben to hear the truth about their home. But I've encountered a lot of activity here, and it's crucial for them to be aware of what's going on here. The first thing that I ran into were the giggling kids. There were two children, a boy and a girl. These children like to make noise here, especially on the stairwell. It's like playing for them. They like to hear sounds. They were kind of like devious. They would just play pranks and stuff, like I think to get attention.
When I did your interview, one of the first things she told me about is hearing young kids playing and then chasing literally all around the house and into the neighbor trying to find these kids.
My son was crying that nobody would play hide and go seek with him. And all of a sudden, we hear these giggling children. We can't find them. That went on for about an hour, and we just went from yard to yard chasing voices.
Well, the thin
Solving mysteries.
There are a lot of dead people in this house.
There was 5 of us who seen.
This will be interesting.
I don't think you've seen me around here.
There's screaming. Someone like really rough screaming. Like a howl. Like a howling. Yeah, man. It's weird. There are a lot of dead people in this house.
So, Colette, I talked to your stepdaughter Dawn and your husband Bill, and he said some pretty wild things are going on here. Are you concerned for anybody's, I don't know, safety?
Yes, I do fear for their safety.
What makes you say that?
I was in here washing the floor and a bowl flew right off the shelf, right in front of me.
When the bowl came off the shelf, how far did it go?
I'd say about 3 feet.
So 3 feet, that means it didn't fall off the shelf.
No, it flew off the shelf.
Okay. You know, I was talking to Dawn and Bill, and they told me a pretty bizarre sighting that they had of this thing with 3 heads. Did you see that?
Yes.
Okay, describe it to me.
It had large feathers.
Okay.
There were 3 heads on it, 2 male heads, and the 3rd head was half monkey and half man. He glared like he wanted to kill me.
This tall guy, he's learned how to go into people's minds and find out what scares them and then project that back to them. I'm starting to think the 7-foot man is a shapeshifter. He's able to change form and take on the likeness of people's greatest fears. He might harm people.
Why would he do that?
Maybe if he felt like they were gonna make him leave.
So, have you seen anything else you can't explain?
I just arrived here one day and walked in and looked over and thought I had a small bear hiding in the lobby. He was about 3 feet tall. And so I had my 44 with me and I was running over to it and it took off and it went through this little hole in the stairs about that size.
Okay.
So I ran down there, scoured the basement. There was nothing there. I do think there is some evil here.
Pam, what's the story with this place? What's this? Is it for sale? Is it not for sale?
It's for sale. It's been for sale for a long, long time, probably 10 years or more.
Now, have you sold places like this before?
I've sold lodges throughout the state of Alaska, yeah.
Now, do they sell pretty quick?
Doesn't usually take 10 years.
Okay, so that's unusual.
I think so, yeah.
Have you heard any stories about this place as far as it being haunted?
You know, ever since I started coming up here 35 years ago, I've heard stories.
That long?
Yes.
Now, do you know about any deaths that occurred in this place or around it?
With a place like this, there's bound to have been lots of people die here. It's been here since 1931. It was built for the miners to come in from their gold mines to have food and recreation on the weekends.
I feel like there's like holes. There's like all these men down here. They're like digging and working. Like under the floor. It's really, really hot in there. I don't want to go in there because it's really hot.
Working with Amy, I've met lots of people who've experienced weird things, but nothing like this. I'm driving 140 miles back down to Fairbanks to meet with the 95-year-old owner of the hotel. Maybe he'd give me some new information about the place. So, Bob, when did you buy the resort?
May of 1980.
Okay. Now, let me ask you something. You closed it, right?
Yeah, 2002.
Okay. Why'd you close it?
My age, and I didn't want to put up with any more managers.
Now, you're trying to sell it?
Yeah.
Why do you think you're having a tough time selling it?
Oh, there's been a lot of stories floating around about it.
Bill, the caretaker up there. Do you think he's a good guy?
Oh, very, very honest.
So if he says something may be going on, do you believe him?
Yes. Oh, yeah, very much so, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever heard any strange stories up there?
Oh, I've heard them, but then I never paid much attention to them because I think about it and say, oh, it's a bunch of baloney about these ghosts.
Right, so you don't think it's haunted?
No.
You don't?
No.
Okay, but there's a lot of people saying a lot of things up there, right?
Yeah, but it's not true.
Okay. While I'm down in Fairbanks, I need to make use of the local library to get some background info on the hotel. As I'm looking through the newspaper archives, something catches my eye. A deadly helicopter crash involving a newly married bride. A destination, the Circle Hot Springs Resort.
There's a woman. Oh, she has a dress on. Like her. She's all messed up.
I want to learn more about the newlywed couple whose helicopter crashed near the hotel. I'm headed over to meet with a local aeronautical expert who might be able to give me more information than the newspaper article did. During my investigation, I came across this article about a helicopter crash back in 2002. It sounded pretty sad. It was a bride. Do you know anything about it?
It was a local couple doing a wedding ceremony on one of the summits. She was a teacher. What happened was that they were finishing up the ceremony. The weather was moving in. As they were departing to take off and go back to Circle Hot Springs for the reception, they ended up crashing into the side of the hill.
She's not wearing anything very distinct. It's just white. is she doing? She's like spinning. Like she's spinning, her equilibrium is out. She's like falling down. Oh, I feel like blood.
What would it feel like if they were going down and they knew it?
You assume everything's all right, and all of a sudden you hit, and before you know it's all over with. In a situation like this, they didn't have any time to think about it. They didn't even know what happened. Most of the guests didn't even know anything had occurred. They discovered the crash site as they were driving back for the reception.
It's like really bad here. Bad. What happened? I don't know. Oh my God. This is not good. She's cold.
One of the problems, though, up there, there's no ambulance service, there's no fire department, there's no hospital, there's no cell phone coverage. So I think what they did is they piled them in cars and drove them back to Fairbanks, and to pronounce her dead at the hospital here in Fairbanks.
So if it wasn't for the fact that they were in such a desolate area, she might have made it.
Definitely.
Fairbanks.
I think she wants help, but like there's nobody. I don't know, there's nobody. I know she's dying. Yeah, she's dying here.
Arctic hair. Arctic nose. It's a fourth grade paper. That person was, I think, actually.
So far, all I've uncovered about the property is a tragic helicopter crash. But my clients have a laundry list of paranormal encounters. I'm hoping that by meeting with a local historian, I can fill in some of the blanks.
The hot springs were discovered in 1897, and Frank Leach owned it as of 1924 with Emma Leach.
The land, he owns it, and he builds the Hot Springs Hotel. What year?
1930.
What kind of a guy was he?
He was rather laid back, hard worker. He was very handy. He loved to build things. He built furniture for the hotel and things like that.
What can you tell me about Frank's wife, Emma?
Emma was born in 1890, and her maiden name was Guns, and I think it may have been German. She told him what to do. Quite often you'd hear her yelling at him. She was the boss, so she wasn't thoroughly loved.
And then there's this other woman. She's from overseas. She reminds me of like this German grandmother.
Does she have an accent?
Oh, yeah. She speaks another language. She's just very set in her ways, like rough, very gruff, harsh, overbearing, and just nasty. She threatened to push my head into the table. Apparently she doesn't like me. That's kind of how she is.
Now, did Frank and Emma stay in Alaska, or did they move on?
Actually, they lived in a house behind the hotel until both of them died. And they're buried in the Hot Springs Cemetery behind the hotel.
I saw several entities on my walk, but I decided to have a sketch artist draw the most prominent two. First, the 7-foot-tall man. He was very muscular, very, like, intimidating. He had a large axe.
Can you describe his face for me?
It's called the Arctic Wrath.
And the eyes are squared because they're so deep. And then the angry woman. She had dark brown hair, comes up like this and just goes back.
What was the shape of her face?
It was kind of squared. She has very thin lips. She had very full cheeks and they were very high.
Is this what you saw?
The Queen of Cups.
Yes.
Over the last several days, Amy and I have conducted separate investigations. Now, we're going to reveal our findings to each other and our clients for the first time.
Heather and Dawn don't live here. Their father, Bill, here takes care of the hotel. They've experienced some pretty terrifying things here, and they're worried about him, but he doesn't want to leave. With that, I'm going to ask Amy to talk about her walk a little bit.
During my walk, one of the individuals that I encountered is a female. Unfortunately, she's stuck in her death state because her death was so traumatic that she hasn't been able to move on. There's a woman. Oh, I feel like blood. I think she's dying. I saw her like bumping around the second floor because her equilibrium's off. She is very hurt and confused because she was calling out for help and nobody was there to help her.
About 10 years ago, there was a newlywed couple who had taken their vows not far from here, and they were headed here to have the reception to this place. Said I do, got into a helicopter, and she never made it to a reception. The helicopter crashed. She died.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, they were alone. She didn't die right away. Head trauma and body trauma.
I didn't see a helicopter crash related to this woman, and I never saw her face clearly. So I don't know who she is, but I do know she doesn't want to harm anyone in the hotel.
What else happened during your walk?
Another individual that I encountered was a very, very rough woman, very tough. She looked like German to me. She didn't really like me very much. She's just very overbearing, like reminded me of one of those overbearing grandmother types. She's just very set in her ways and just nasty. She threatened to push my head into the table.
Heather, do me a favor and tell Amy about the apparition you did see.
I was outside by the pool, and I looked up at the 4th floor window by the library, and I saw kind of like a grandmotherly figure.
You know the name Emma Leach? Emma married this guy, Frank Leach, and actually, Frank built this hotel in 1930. Her maiden name was Gunz. She was German. She was overbearing, told her husband what to do. Pretty sure that she died on the property, and she's buried right up on a hill here.
Wow. We did do a sketch of her.
You did? I have a picture of Emma. That's Emma. Heather, what do you think?
I think there's a lot of similarities, especially in the full chin.
The nose.
The nose was the most distinct.
She didn't like you?
I don't think she likes anybody. She definitely doesn't want to leave. That's for sure. Like, this is her domain.
So, Amy, what else did you encounter?
I encountered this very, very tall man who definitely unnerved me. I did get that he's not from here, but that he built a lot of things here. And this individual is very protective of an area in the basement, the workshop area. That's like his main place.
Well, that sounds like Evan's husband, Frank, the guy that built this place. He actually built a lot of the furniture that's in this place.
Really?
Yeah, he was a handy guy.
He's a strange person.
Well, he did die on the property and is buried right up on the same hill.
He's very advanced. He's able to physically interact, so shaking beds, making noise, and opening and closing doors.
Heather, tell Amy what happened upstairs.
I was cleaning one of the rooms on the second floor, and I had the furniture polish in my hand. I sat on the chair, and so I turned around to get my rag. I grabbed it, and as soon as I turned back around to go towards the chair, it flew off, and it went right past my face and hit the wall.
You said the footsteps. He makes the noise.
Yeah.
You guys have all heard.
Oh, yeah.
Up and down the fire escape on the outside of the building, and no tracks on the snow, but you can hear him running up down the stairs, the fire escape. Boom, 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 boom.
He's very capable. He also tried to frighten me. The way that he presented himself to me was unnerving, to say the least.
You gotta tell her about this three-headed thing.
What?
There's 5 of us that have seen it, and we've seen it at the same time. We all seen something different. Like, for instance, I seen what I thought would have been maybe the Grim Reaper. He had seen a monkey head that I didn't see.
There was no emotion, nothing. It had no eyes and everything. This was black eyes.
I was very scared.
That bothers me when they have enough strength to do that, to be able to read your mind and see what scares you and then become that.
Well, it's funny you mention that because Bill's wife, Colette, who I had spoken to, she had an incident where she saw what she thought was a black bear in here.
She assumed she caught it sleeping out here. She caught it right over in this corner. She was going for a 44 and starting to pull it out, and all of a sudden it turned into like a changeling. It went down one of them holes over here. But the changeling, Amy, that's what's freaking us out.
I did have a sketch done of him.
Is that the second sketch you did?
Yes.
Okay.
Sketch.
Oh.
Sketch.
That would scare me.
I wanted you to notice the eyes. He really hates women. I did have a sketch done of him.
Is that the second sketch you did?
Yes.
Okay. Oh.
I got chills when I started looking at it.
One of the things that bothers me was what you said about the eyes being 2 big black gaping holes.
Yeah, it's the black eyes that I seen in the 2-headed thing. Exactly like that.
That's what it made you see?
I feel that there's 2 things going on. One, it's very unnerving to not be able to look at someone's eyes. You can't gauge them. You don't know what's going on, so it gives you a feeling of disorientation. And the biggest thing with him was that he actually really hates women. Like, he wouldn't really talk to me because I was just a girl.
Oh, wow.
You said that too, remember?
Yep.
I said the only ones that are having problems, it seems like Amy in this area here, is the women. The men he has no problem with, but the women he just does not like them.
Bill, isn't it true that whatever's here you told me is kind of helping you out, helping you find things and stuff like that?
He's quite the assistant. Yes, he is.
The odd thing is, the only time you ever saw something remotely scary was when you were with 4 other women.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
You know, me and 4 other women, so. Wow. You're hitting a lot on the head, Amy.
Well, guys, you've seen what Amy and I have uncovered about the hotel. But the reason you called us in, the most important question is it safe for your father here to stay on as the caretaker? So with that, I'm going to ask Amy if she can answer that question for us.
Looks like
Well, I think it's safe for your father
detail in her chair.
because you're male. But, you know, it's kind of unsettling for when your daughters visit. What you can do is have a talking with him about bothering females and kind of laying down the law. If there's females here, you just leave them alone. No interaction. Or you're gonna have to go.
You think his talking to her is going to stop that for his girls? What can be done to ensure their safety when they're here?
They know now who the people are, so they can call them out by name.
So you believe these sketches are Frank and Emma Leach?
Oh, yeah. You know, Bill's going to lay down the law. Like, if you want to stay here, these are the terms and conditions. You don't mess with any women, you don't disrespect them, and so on and so forth. And then you guys coming in being like, we're not going to tolerate this. And if you do anything, you know the consequences, which will be banishment, basically. And they do not want that. Most people don't realize that entities can remain at a location because they are allowed to. But if they start causing problems, you can put your foot down and demand that they leave.
How do you feel knowing all this now? Do you feel better? Feel worse?
I feel better knowing that it's nothing against men, knowing that he'll be okay. However, a little upsetting that it has something against us. Well, not personally, but women, just because I enjoy coming over to the hot springs, and we had fun when we stayed here until all that started happening. So I think, Dad, you need to have a talk.
Yeah.
It's one man to another.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're buddies, so let's keep it that way. And, you know, I mean, right, Will.
Okay, I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, I will.
You need to protect your daughters.
Yeah.
I can relate to Dawn and Heather's fears. When you've encountered such an angry presence, it's terrifying. But as long as Bill follows the advice I've given him, his family should remain safe.